Hi, I'd like to start by asking you all to say 5 words. Open talent in young people. After me. Open talent in young people. Why not? When Kennedy made his why not speech, he talked about why is it that as our knowledge increases, so our ignorance unfolds. And at the Foyer Federation, over the last couple of years, we've been exploring that concept as a story. It's a story about young people's talents, about why is it that we possess so much knowledge about talent, human achievement, and human potential, but seem ignorant about how to apply that knowledge to those young people who face challenges and struggles to become independent adults today. So I thought, let's try and explore that story with you. We're in a theatre, it's a beautiful theatre, so why not explore the story of talent in a theatrical kind of way? So I'm going to try and do a little play for you with 2 bags, because I know you're wondering, why has he come on with 2 bags? And like every good performance, I'll put this down, every good performance, we have a protagonist, bag number 1. And our protagonist represents young people. At the turn of the century, we invented the concept of young people. We used to be children, and then we were adults. But then this emerging thing of emerging adult developed. And some young people in emerging adulthood, develop the skills, the resources, and the opportunities by which they become adults. But some young people don't. This bag represents the young people who don't. And that bag is full of potential. Then we have the antagonist. Every good story needs that kind of Darth Vader-like character who's full of, really amazing ideas and skills, but somehow has this view of the world which harms other people. We are the antagonist. Our society has become the antagonist, this bag. And why is that so? Because this bag is full of advantage thinking, which is good. We develop advantages. We have knowledge about goals, aspirations, skills, resources by which we thrive in our lives, and that's good. But unfortunately, this bag has perfected something else in it, something called disadvantaged thinking. And the concept of disadvantaged thinking is that when we look at these young people, we kind of see them as problems. And disadvantaged thinking labels them. We say they're homeless, they're criminals, they're drug addicts, they're care leavers. And then we try to focus on those problems. And we apply very kind of low-level thinking to solve those problems. So that at best, those young people can cope with those problems for the rest of their lives, at best. What we don't do is look at their higher needs. What we don't do is apply our advantage thinking so that they can develop advantages so that they can thrive like us. And that creates the conflict of this story. Disadvantaged thinking is creating a conflict. As more young people in our society, as we evolve, become so-called problems, disadvantaged thinking cannot cope or solve those issues. And this creates the climax of the story. Today, around the world, there are at least 81 million young people who are unemployed. There are probably 3 times as many young people who are struggling in one way or another to make a transition into adulthood. We are a planet of diminishing resources, as we've heard today. And yet, we have this untapped wealth of potential that we are not using. We are increasingly an aging population that needs the role of young people in society. And yet, we have these young people who we are not engaging in our society. What will happen if we don't make a breakthrough in our thinking? What will be the resolution of this story? If we want to open talent in young people, my suggestion is that we start by thinking, how did we get to where we are in terms of the talents in this room? What stories have we undergone? I'll use mine as an example, since I'm up here. My earliest memory of childhood is going to a speech therapist because I was born with a stammer. My second memory of childhood is going to remedial classes because I couldn't write or read. My third memory of childhood is being so scared and not having any confidence, I couldn't even put my hand up in the classroom to go to the toilet. How on earth did I get from there to here? Not through any superhuman effort of myself, but because my parents removed me from an environment where I was going to fail. By the age of 8, I was going to be a failure in education, and put me in a different environment where I could grow my skills, my resources, and find those opportunities in life. And that story gives me 3 important lessons. First of all, my parents invested in advantages. Not every young person, not all of these young people get that investment. Secondly, my parents never saw me as disadvantaged. They didn't see me as a problem. They saw my potential. They thought I had talent, and they gave me the opportunity to discover that. And thirdly, as I think where I am today, I don't define my achievements by saying, my greatest achievement is that I'm not homeless. No, I don't think that. I don't say, my greatest achievement is that I've saved the taxpayer thousands of pounds by not becoming a drug addict. I don't think any of you would say that either. But that's the measures we use to define the achievements of these young people. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? So, with that thinking, let's go to our this bag, the bag of our antagonists, and say, yes, we'd like to have your advantage thinking, because it's useful. Because it says things like, in advantage thinking, we have business talent development programs, leadership programs that invest in time in people's talents. Well, that's a good thing to have, isn't it? In the world of sport, we go scouting for talent. There are talent scouts who try to identify people who've got potential. And then we invest in that potential by coaching people. And then when they become successful, we give them agents. Like David Beckham, he has an agent, and he promotes his talents to others. That sounds a good program to me. Or we have things like university. University, you get 3 years to experience different types of accommodation, an amazing training and education package, social networks, and all those amazing things to grow your confidence and skills. Why can't we have a program like that for these young people? So those are good advantages to have. It will be very easy just to take those advantages and just stick them in that bag. I'd love to be able to do that. But there's this thing in the middle. There's this kind of conflict in the middle of the stage called disadvantaged thinking that's staring at me right now. And it's saying, when you say why not, it says because. It turns why into a not. So let's see if we can sort of get rid of disadvantaged thinking. I'm going to lift up the cards and try to destroy them. Because it's too expensive to focus on talents. Of course, it must be more expensive to send a young person to Eton or to university than it would be to send them to a custody or put them through their supported housing route. No, it's not. Eton is cheaper. Because only some people are special and gifted enough to be talented. It's true, I can't dance. I can't sing. And I can't even sing and dance badly enough to be entertaining. So I don't have that kind of talent. But I have other talents. There are other talents than just that kind of celebrity talent. Actually, if you go and look at the dictionary, talent means all sorts of things. It's about your character. It's about all different types of abilities. So let's not say that talent is an elitist thing. Everybody has their own talent. Because it is too risky not to focus on the problems first. These people have got problems. We must assess their problems. But that's not how human behavior works, is it? If I really wanted to spend time in the gym because I've got a problem with my body, I really should focus on my body more, not my mind. What's going to get me to the gym? Not focusing on the problem. What will get me to the gym is saying, I'm going to run the marathon in New York next year. That's an aspirational goal. That will get me to the gym. Because human behavior focuses on aspirational goals, not problems. Because young people aren't responsible enough to be adults to be invested in. That young person over there, he's a young offender. He committed a crime. Why should we invest in him? Why do we see human beings as labels? That's a young person who hasn't been able to develop all the skills and resources by which to be a positive adult. We need to invest in those things. We need to take the responsibility to help them gain that responsibility. And the last card. Because it's too complicated to know where to invest, and a lot easier to focus on disadvantage. It will be a lot easier for me to talk about homelessness and all those things on stage. But I'm not, because we have to confront that kind of language. This card is difficult. And in the UK, we have been inspired by Greece, by the fact that in ancient history, Greece developed a currency called talent. A talent was a measure of value, equivalent to about 9 years' worth of skilled labor in terms of silver. You knew what you bought with a talent, you knew what you got in return. And with that idea, in the United Kingdom, we've been thinking, why can't we develop our own currency of talent so people know what to invest in for young people? And that talent, that currency, has 5 things in it. Firstly, it has the concept of places to go where young people can go to discuss their talents, to begin a conversation about creating talent. Places where they can find somewhere safe to live, but can also be inspired by what they can achieve in their life. Where are those places in this room? Secondly, by having responsible adults, trusted adults, not those who can just support young people. There's too many people supporting young people. Adults who will inspire, enable, and empower young people. Those adults with the ability to guide and empower young people as they begin their journeys. Where are those enablers in this room? Thirdly, it's about a community of opportunity. A community where you can spot your talent, develop your talent, and promote your talent. Where is that community in this room? Fourthly, it's about having a kind of relationship, an offer for a young person, if you like, a contract, which they can commit to, where they can see their talents grow in return for the investments of talents back in them. Where is that social contract for young people in this room? And lastly, it's about a campaign. It's about a vision. It's about giving young people something to feel part of, to feel an identity with. Open talent, something aspirational, not disadvantage. Where is that campaign? Where's that vision in this room? When Kennedy did his Why Not speech, he said, we shouldn't waste money on all this, but we should get the job done. Disadvantaged thinking wastes money. Disadvantaged thinking does not get the job done. And that's why I want to put these cards in that bag. I can't do it though. You can. Greece can. Europe can. The world can. If you want to make a change, a transformation in human thinking on this planet. And so, I say to you, change the t-shirt. Open up your hearts. Open up your language to something different. Open up your talents to open young people's talents. Thanks very much.